school days. This fucking anime. Alright, seriously. I'm going to be a little bit more bombastic in this video because I feel that it really requires it. So, sit the fuck down and steel yourselves because it's going to be a bumpy ride. Beginning innocently enough, as a teen helping a friend gain the girlfriend he is currently musing over and thus becoming emotionally attached herself, this anime is a steep progression into one of the most fucking detestable characterizations and plotting imaginable. And so, I'm not saying it's bad, or entirely bad, but as a matter of fact, actually at some points it's extremely well made. The plot and performances are engrossing considering I'm leaving out one crucial fucking point. The story is a goddamn nightmare. And it's all because of the main character. Ito is, at first glance, an average awkward teen bashfully obsessing over Katsura, a classmate. His friend Saionji boldly sets the two up through a number of forced encounters and then gets them to set on a date. At this point in the show, and likewise the video game this series is based on, it comes off pretty much as a tame, all-around high school host club-esque style drama whose dark side is only the utter self-deprecating attitude of its few characters. I'm serious. Every character is awkward around each other all of the time, mainly due to the utter helplessness of Ito. Initially, anyways. At this point, you think a normal fan will be rooting for him, but I was far more interested in Saionji's character and her motives for helping him. Given the history that happened supposedly right before then, she just does this right out of the blue. This abrupt change is obviously the inciting incident, but only that. It's just to set up the events in the show. And when she steals a kiss from Ito right before going on his date with Katsura, one, why would you do that to him? Why would you conflict him like that? Do you think it was cute? Are you stupid? I think that was the moment everything was turned to shit, narrative-wise. And that's the end of the first bloody episode. Bloody. Anyway, but I knew this was either going to be a Greek tragedy anime like Nana or Angel Beats, or it was going to go dark like something out of Bible Black. But to be fair, I seeked out School Days because of its notoriety, and thankfully it didn't go so far as to that, and stuck with an extreme abuse of another breed. Kinda. After Ito understands the effect he has on each girl, the disgust I have for him triples and compounds with each passing episode, for he exploits them in some of the most base ways sexually and mentally until all throats are up to being sliced. Though I have not played through the game for the sequel Summer Days, I cannot say how the story arc I know of will continue in any way at the end of this anime's 12-episode run in 2007, but then again, those are the games. Produced by animation house TNK, I can say that this is the only piece of the current filmography I have watched or even heard of. One thing that some of you wanted me to comment on, though, was the infamous ending. So, warning, let's get into the spoilers. This culminated in Ito being repeatedly stabbed and then decapitated. Saionji would end up gutted like a deer. This is a pretty grisly and a pretty awesome sequence. The animation is fluid, the writing is strong, and the mood is perfect. Kinda. The one culminating aspect that is the great thorn in my side of the whole utter bloody mess, fuck the motivation of these characters. That's what makes this entire anime extremely bad in my opinion, but it also is the same reason I keep coming back to it. The whole motivation of all the supporting female characters are to get with Ito. And that's the whole damn problem. Unlike other lead characters in this position, Ito loses all of his credibility and empathy because of the character he becomes. And he becomes it in the second episode. The second episode! The problem is not that we see it. If it were that type of characterization that is only evident when having all the parts of the story shown to the audience and our omnipresence is what pieces together the utter bag of yeast-infected dicks oozing pus that Ito is, then actually it would be really good characterization. It'd be the hallmark of great characterization. I'd applaud that and bake you some cookies. It helps to build our distaste for villains and anti-heroes. It's one of the main ways you draw in your audience and invest them in what happens. Let's take a character from, Bakura from Yu-Gi-Oh! Sure, the anime isn't amazing in the ways of quality, but it's a childhood favorite. Fuck you. Though the majority of the villains that the main cast faces in the show are egotistic and relatively thick, or are puppets of a larger scheme, or are the puppeteers. The reason I pick Bakura each and every time is that he is the most evil character in the show. Unlike everyone else in the main villains, he was not corrupted by the power of his Millennium Item. His Millennium Item was corruption. That's all the basis we need to at least see where he stands on the spectrum, but the reason this effect is compounded is that the audience are the only ones who have been able to be present for all of his shenanigans. Because the main cast are not always present and cannot listen to his thoughts as we can, this builds drama as well as a basis for how people react the way they do. School Days misses the point so horribly that someone crying blood in the middle of a crowded mall yodeling Slayer would be less subtle than how Ito is an overflowing catheter bag of douche. I love to hate characters. It's one of the best things about creating stories in general. So I reiterate, it's not that we see it. It's because that actively part of the series, all of the other characters see it as well. This is not pieced together with a rearrangement of scenes, slurred perspectives, and rumors, which in high school seems as common as unhealthy sexual repression. They are so fully aware of every misdeed, mindfuck, and intentional harm that he is doing to each and every one of them, and yet they still want him all for themselves. And not only that, a couple times they deliberately sabotage something else with the other girls in order to progress closer to Ito. Why? He is not talented, nor overtly better looking than any of the other characters. He always seems oblivious to the effect he has on other people, and not intelligent enough even to be on par with his female victims. And the further they take it with each other, the further he takes away from them. They are like horses running with blinders completely covering their eyes. You're just waiting for one misstep and someone's gonna be wheelbarrow bound for the rest of the show. And I've seen that some people have actually said that Ito didn't deserve what he got at the end of all this. Alright, being a humble student of film criticism and theory, I'm one of the first to make the claim that movies do not need to have a plot or a point in order to tell a good story. Look at mine. No, seriously. Give a movie of mine a watch. I mean, you're watching me ramble on and something I created because something someone else created drew inspiration to create inside of me, and someone thinks my opinion is at least plausibly valid. Anyway, karma may not exist in life depending on what you believe, but in storytelling, you better believe karma fucking exists. It is a theme laced throughout most literature and visual media, stretching back to the beginning of recorded history. Either way you look at it, the bad guy getting his comeuppance to the degree or even more severe degree to which he had been given satisfies this reptilian brain need for vengeance and justice. And that's what I got from the ending of School Days. Kinda. Now I just know that people want me to pick up my turnaround time to these things and that they want me to go into the dark shit each and every time. So you know what? I'm gonna spin the wheel, and the next time on Anime Academia is Rin. Oh.